Hi, so what's happened this week? Well, we've had the release of Little Red Riding Hood last week, which has gone really amazingly well. Really pleased with that. And I've spent basically the better part of 2 weeks now, basically thrashing out these ideas for Jack and the Beanstalk, trying to get it all sorted out in my head. What we're going to do. So let's have a look. Yeah, so as you can see, I've just been churning over and over again, trying to get things straight in my head. What might work, what might not work. Try and basically keep the scope of the project down and try and get a real hang about the basic structure of it and how that would work and whether or not it'd be fun, and trying to work out the pitfalls and problems. And I think basically by the middle of this week, I'd kind of got it straight in my head how it's going to work, the basic kind of how you progress through this kind of adventure and how you get to the end. I think it's all there. We've got I think we've got some nice kind of play mechanics in there. I've tried to get a real kind of a mix. So there's kind of action things where you're sort of running about and stuff, and sort of doing things that are kind of quite sort of active. We've also got a lot more exploring. So when you're actually in the castle with the giant, you do actually get to explore and find the entrances and find where to go next, and trying a little bit more of trying to work things out for yourself, which is something kind of we sort of haven't had before, and I think that could be quite fun. So you don't feel like you're being led all the time, but you're actually kind of free to kind of try and in a very controlled kind of a sort of what would you call it, walled garden type affair that so you're never stuck for what to do, but it's not kind of you don't have to go to A, B, or C in any particular order. You can actually do it how you want. We've got you meeting characters again. I thought that's something we enjoyed doing with Little Red Riding Hood. So there's characters you meet and you can help out, or not necessarily help out, but you have to negotiate with, for want of a better phrase. But also with the actual taking of the items from the giant, we've tried to come up with a kind of a mechanic that we can kind of use in slightly different ways each time. But so you actually have to use stealth, and you actually have to use care rather than kind of blundering in and just sort of taking something. So that's going to be fun. And like in Little Red Riding Hood, we had the idea you kind of have this choose your own type pathway, and that influenced where you ended up with the wolf and how you beat the wolf. For Jack, I've kind of gone. There's a consequence of how you might not. You're not necessarily going to get out of the castle with all the treasure. You might get all the treasure. You might get none of the treasure. Depends on how well you outwit the giant each time. So that's a new kind of a big twist. I think that's probably the big thing we've got really, apart from the exploration and the more kind of puzzle solving and kind of this kind of thinking for yourself about how to get through the adventure. There's this big thing that it's not the ending that you always get in the traditional telling story. It may not be the ending you get this time. You may go to the castle. You may try and steal the golden goose. You may not succeed in stealing the goose, and the giant will chase you down the beanstalk, and you'll end up with nothing. So I think that's quite a big thing, because obviously we want to package that up in a way that still has a positive outcome. You don't want children to feel that you've had a good go, and not succeeding in something is necessarily is a bad thing. It's okay. I think you can't always be good at everything, and so I think that's quite a big theme. I think that's an interesting thing to look at. So it's really cool, and I think I've got a really lovely mechanic for climbing up the beanstalk and back down again, because that's something that kind of wants to be the same mechanic each time. But obviously when you go up the beanstalk, it's quite a leisurely kind of a thing, whereas when you come down the beanstalk, you're being pursued by a bloody great giant. So I think it needs to kind of work in both of those situations. So that's cool. So it's all coming together. I think it's the final stage of this kind of paper prototyping thing is actually I've built it again on the device here. You know, that kind of using that pop app, which allows me to kind of take photographs and kind of piece together the kind of flow of the story. But so I think I'm going to try and get it all on paper again and lay it out so you can actually try and get a feel about how the different you know, when you do these activities and you progress through the castle and you find the characters and you find the treasure and stuff, how that feels actually when you're doing it for real, as real as we can without actually sort of writing an app, because obviously all the time the whole point of this kind of paper process is to try and work out all the problems and try and at least get a heads up about what might be a problem. You know, obviously some of it's going to come along as you get deeper into the development, but you're always trying to try and just be a few steps ahead. So yeah, I look forward to doing that, and then hopefully it'll be on to actually drawing stuff, which will be good. Okay.